Hello and welcome to the show. How's it going? Running a little bit behind today. Not bad, not bad. Uh, Sent Shadowhawk the link. I think he tried to call me. Somebody tried to call me right before the show while I was setting up the show. Third time's a charm. Usually it's the thumbnails that get you. Uh, I X'd off the first one. I know, maybe the second as well. I don't know. Hit the wrong button. You want to back it up instead of exit off. Oh well, live and learn. Anyway, we're here on the 4 o'clock shadow. Episode 1131. Like I say, third time's a charm. Maybe, hopefully. Who knows? Who knows? Went to the doctor today, got my little yearly physical. Seems like they get later and later in the year. They were in December, like right after Christmas. I don't know, or right maybe at the beginning of December. I don't know. It kept getting backed up and backed up and backed up, and I really didn't care this year. But I get like, well, she's put me on one medicine for cholesterol, and she asked me if we'll see what my cholesterol count comes back. But lost some weight. That Atlanta trip probably helped a lot. 149 pounds, not too bad. No, not 100. I always do that. Anyway, 249 pounds. That's better than it's been indeed. I've been about 265, somewhere in there. It varies. But yeah, now totally skipped through the 50s and down to the 40s now, right at the, you know, 249. So I was very pleased to see that. Hopefully their scales are accurate. Hello, Shadowhawk. Was that you trying to call me earlier? Right
Yep.
before the show? Okay. Elsie did that to me one day, and I said, well, and I was sitting here trying to set the show up, and I said, well, what are you doing calling me? And he was like, oh, I totally forgot about, it's like, yeah, every day, it's
No, I was
ingrained
just
in my
calling you because I didn't see the show
the
set
one,
up or anything yet. So
right. Yeah, I got it. Thank you, sir. I was
yeah,
down
no
here
problem.
trying to set it up while you were calling, and
Ah,
third time's a charm. I think that's probably not I mean, I went through 3 titles. That was my third title. I,
alrighty.
I thought up a good one. I X'd it off after my thumbnail, that I tried to put up there. Of course, I just got up out of bed. I was going to meet with Omer, and I thought about it and got distracted. I don't know, forgot. I was going to get with him today. Maybe I'll freshen my life up and get with him tomorrow. Start laying out the magazine, make a file that has the Devil Flyer story in there, which is finished. We could put placeholders like just the artwork for Grave
Right.
Tales that hasn't been lettered yet. Things like that. Start putting the book together. He's supposed to do me an interior page for the sticker books and put that up on the campaign so that we can. Wasn't me. Hello all. Yes, it wasn't. It wasn't Omer. It was me. I thought about it, and I liked a few minutes. I went to the doctor. And the doctor
Clearly.
was at 10:30. Um, and I did all my running around before I went to the doctor. Left Abby here and went to the doctor, and it took her about an hour to actually see me. So it
Right.
took over an hour, but 149 pounds. So I could get it down to about mid 50s and just hit the benchmark. But I think that Atlanta trip really took a few pounds off of me.
Yeah, well, I bet
Yeah,
you
it
were
was.
you were a boogie in mother chucker.
I was like, whew, yes, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wouldn't go back. And I pushed myself. I really did. I worked hard. Not only for that $300 bonus, which I haven't gotten yet, but hopefully. Hopefully we will. Um, uh, that's just the way I work, you know. I do the very best I can at any job, you know, whether I'm working for myself or someone else. I don't feel right. Uh, Found a picture up in my bedroom, which I hadn't seen for a while. I think this is probably
Those thinking.
my cow Chester, and I must have got that name off of Gunsmoke. Uh, I know I was past 10 years old when I raised her. I was about, I don't know, 9th, 10th, maybe junior high. I don't know. I showed my cow at Buffalo Island, a thing at the fairgrounds here where you show
Oh,
cows,
cool.
you know, you actually,
Do you
and
guys
I,
have yeah, is it like 4-H down there? Do you know what that is?
yeah, yeah, we got
Oh, okay.
4-H. We've got, yeah, I've got my FFA jacket upstairs, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Can't
cool.
fit in it. It was way too big for me at the time. It engulfed me. I had room I needed to grow into it, and now I can't get it on, of course.
Oh, dang.
I thought it was so big back then, and it's so small and dinky now because I manned up, you know, I manned up. I
Right,
spread
beefed
out.
up like the
Beefed
Incredible
up.
Hulk.
We are here to pump you up.
You are. That's
Anyway, yeah, we had all that, and I was
the regular Lee Strike Rigman.
part of that. You know, get a jacket and whatnot. And I did that with my third cousin, Marty Lamb, who graduated. You know, and I think he was probably like me, one of the few that went all 12 years from first grade to 12th.
Oh, wow.
He was in the military, came home. I've still got the paper with his picture on it where he came home.
That's
I
cool.
learned at the school reunion last year, which was in September at that Mexican place, remember?
Yeah, yeah. I remember you telling me
That
about it.
he had passed away.
Oh,
And
shit.
I noticed a posting earlier this year on his birthday from his daughter that I miss you, Dad, and all that. And so, yeah, he showed cows. He had done it before, and we kind of did it together. And one, you know, I've told that story where the cow is above me, right? It's kind of on a slope. I'm trying to get him through the gate to get her out in the pasture, right? And
Uh-huh.
that cow was so stubborn. I kid you not. I mean, you know, you pull on it, and she jumped sideways one time, just sideways. And
Oh, wow.
they had some metal. His father, Yogi, later would
Hey, Mike.
uh, be like a coach for us in basketball. He's passed
Uh,
away too. I don't know about his mother. I don't know if she's still alive or not. I know his sister, his younger sister, that was about a year, I guess, younger than us. Um, she's a teacher where we used to go to school.
oh,
Because when I picked them up years ago at karate, she was there. I don't know if she's still there, but she probably is. Uh, Good school district, and probably, you know. Hey, Mike. Um, Found I think this is actually Chester, the cow that I was raising, because the mother had a hard birth and rejected her. And Mr. Floyd, who ran the local, at that time, local little store, and that
uh-huh.
was about all that was there, where you could get candy and ice cream and
All
good
right.
stuff like that. And that I ran. My parents thought I ran away one time. My mother, you know, I didn't. I collected all my pennies. You know, grandmother said, "You can't have any more ice cream." It's like, oh, I'll show you. We trekked out and went down there and got some more ice cream. I was walking back, and they thought we'd ran away. You know, they were all in a tizzy. Can't find the kids. You know, my backyard was like, I didn't know it at the time. Dad, it seemed like he said 80 acres, but it was when you really geographically looked at it, it was the boundaries and everything. It's 70, I think it's like 73.3 acres.
That's still a lot,
And
dude. That's a big backyard.
it is. That was a great backyard to play in,
Oh,
growing
hell yeah.
up. You just had to watch
I've
out for
never
the
been in one.
landmines, the cow patties,
Well,
the
yeah, but,
snakes. Um,
yeah, I didn't. I didn't have that kind of land that my family had, but we had enough empty land around us that I just made the whole neighborhood my playground. So,
well, it's an old family plot. My aunt lived up from the road from us. She was a school teacher, and when I was very young, they moved to town. There were three spinster uh, aunts of mine:
uh,
Leah, Zoni, and
zoning. Oh,
Jessie. I had a grandma Jessie, and I had a aunt Jessie. Aunt Jessie years ago was a school teacher at the university out here, ASU. Um, they were aged, or I mean, their hair was like mine. They was gray, when I was real young. Um, and that was on my father's side, and the land come from my father's side. There used to be a mill, they said, in a creek that ran through up from the house we grew up in, and that creek is named Christian Creek after my family. You can go over here to G Street, and there's a deep ditch with a lot of trash in it and everything that's named after my family. Anyway, Edward and Buzz Acevedo in the house. I think this is a picture of the first calf that Chester had. Our bottle raised and showed once, and then just turned her out with Dad's other cattle. In '83, he got rid of all the cattle except for Chester, and then a friend took her up to Pocahontas. I believe that's where his cattle was. And I
why'd you name it?
sprayed Pocahontas last night. I mean, no, not last night, but Friday night. Remember, that's that hilly area and everything.
Yeah, yeah. So why
Um,
did you name your girl cow Chester?
mm. Oh, why did I name it Chester? I think because of Gunsmoke. It
Oh, you
was
just like the.
it. Well, Dad had all black Angus cattle, and she
Mhm.
was a Brammer. She had like a reddish, ruddy brown, color to her,
Oh, okay.
and
Well,
horns.
all right.
She was the only one that had horns. Uh,
Oh, was she an
I, I
actual Brahma?
I could call Hereford heifer. She was a Hereford heifer. I'm sorry,
I
Hereford
heard.
heifer.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones I mentioned have a hump, not a
Hmm.
hump
Yeah,
day, but they've got a hump, don't they? A fat
and they can get
behind their
yeah,
head.
they get pretty big too.
Yeah, they get pretty big. Yeah, I'm sorry, I spoke out of turn. It was actually Hereford heifer.
Yeah,
Hey,
we
Dave,
always
Jennifer Thomas in
call
the
them
house.
heifers. I didn't even know there was a D on the end.
But before we moved to her, and I don't know what happened to her children. I think Chester, since she was like a pet, Carl Fielder took her. He was a bricklayer, had a bricking service.
Oh, okay.
Uh, in that old building that was built in the 1800s, he looked at it for me, you know,
Oh,
when he was older.
right.
Uh, I thought I looked a
Yeah,
lot like
true.
him, in the face and everything growing up. I thought I looked a lot like Carl, that we had a lot in common. A great guy, one of Dad's, uh, he was almost like an uncle to me, I guess you could say. Always
That's
bought us
cool.
nice Christmas presents and stuff. His daughter is some kind of lawyer here in town nowadays. Uh,
Hmm.
had her late in life, had one earlier, and then one later.
Yeah, kind of sounds
Uh,
like me.
yeah. And she was younger than me, but not so much younger that we couldn't play, together. You know,
Right. Yeah.
she was a gymnast from very early on. She was a gymnast. And
Oh,
they had right there in their living room, I remember one time. And then I think they added on to the back of that and then put it in there. But they had a like a parallel bar or whatever,
oh
not
wow.
not a raise, but like where you keep your balance, just a beam
Oh,
actually,
the balance beam. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
a balance beam, I guess you could call it. It wasn't raised or anything, you know, off the ground that much, maybe about that much. Not,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
just a straight beam that she could pad it,
Yeah.
that she
I
could
think on the
practice.
practice, yeah, the practice stuff,
Yeah.
they start off. It's just
Hey,
right
Crooked
there
Painter.
on the ground.
Hey, Tree.
It's not like mounted.
Uh, I think this is Chester's. I just thought she looked like a Chester, and it was like, uh,
Hell, cricket painter.
I don't know. But yeah, I know it was kind of strange. Hey, it was my cow. I could name it what I
I
wanted,
mean,
so
you
I
can
called
name
it.
her whatever you want to. I was just wondering if there's if you remembered what.
Well, I just thought she looked like a Chester, and and it's like Chester. Where did I come up with it? I can't remember if I thought it was from Gunsmoke or what, but I probably had
Oh,
forgotten that Chester was a character that I liked. I think impression wise, I think I liked him and was better than uh Festus. I'm getting to the Festus, the first Festus Hagen episode uh is in season 8, and that's
now
the
Festus.
season that has Burt Reynolds
Okay.
in it.
Now, Festus was that Gabby Hayes that played him?
No, 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 no. That was what is his name? Curtis.
Kurt.
Something Kurt. He played in a lot of John Wayne movies. You know,
Oh,
the
okay.
John Ford, he was part of that ensemble of
Mm,
actors that kind of like Ward Bond that later would do a wagon train for till he died, and then they continued it past that. Um,
well,
anyway, I don't think this is Chester. I think this is a picture, if I remember right. There's two cows there, but the one closest there, that was her first offspring because she
oh,
had
well,
like three. She had three, and I guess they were sold. You know, but Chester now she went up to spend the rest of her days along with Carl's cattle after 83. 83 was brutal here with an ice storm and everything. It was
no.
down near zero or maybe even below, like 5 below or something every day. Snow and wind and for a
Yeah.
while. And I did go out there with dad to the barn, and that's when I saw those swollen up rats.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. They were frozen. You know, they were like on their side and frozen out
Mm-hmm.
there. I don't. I don't know if he was bloated and still frozen, or if he was just that big. They in that old barn eating that grain. You know, the rats can get
They
big.
get pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he was
Shit,
about
dude,
the
we got them
awesome
size of
size.
cats out here in Chicago.
Yeah,
I ain't kidding you.
yeah, I know. And I've talked to somebody who works around here, and he swears Jonesboro's got some big rats. I haven't seen any big rats. The
Hmm.
one that got in the house, he was pretty good size, but uh, I thought he was a possum at first when he peeked his head in my living room. I was sitting there and it's like, oh no, and I got that little baby possum in there the week before, and I was like, oh no, no. Saw that was a rat, and I'm like, well, definitely got to get that thing out of here, God, you know.
Right.
Anyway,
That's always fun.
yeah, telltale signs of something's got to
Yeah, that
change.
was one of the drawbacks of having a camper, parked at a campground year round. Because,
Mhm.
every year, that first time you get down there, there's always mice that get in over the winter, and you got to clear out the corpses, sanitize the place before you can,
Ugh.
yeah.
I hate mice. I hate rats. Sorry.
Oh my God, the funniest thing. We had these It was all hippied out. It was tie dyed and all lit real cool and shit. It was like walking back into the '60s when you walked into my camper. And
Hmm.
Mama Hawk had this Jimi Hendrix like tapestry that it was where it had the separated bedroom with a what do they
Hmm.
call it, a fifth wheel. So you had to step up, into the bathroom and the bedroom. So there's like a little, upward kind of angled wall there. We come in the one year, and I'm like, why is that tapestry hanging so weird like that? I had that like this ball in it, and somehow or another, this little fucking mother mouse had found her way up in there, built herself a nest, and I had little babies. And I pulled the one pin out, to see what was behind the thing. The nest just fell down, hit the floor, and there were a bunch of little pinkies in there about the size of your,
Yeah.
your fingertip.
Yeah.
Oh man, Mama Hawk lost her shit, dude. She fucking ran
Hey,
out of
PBR. Yeah, I
there.
mean they're not very big when they're born,
No,
especially
they're
mine.
dinky, but they're all like hairless
No
and pink. And,
hair,
yeah.
pinky. Yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying. The closest I've owned, like Jamie, who's the vet assistant that looked after Abby, and she
Uh-huh.
is outside. I'm gonna have to get her in here in a minute. But
Hey, PBR.
and then maybe you can tell the folks what book you're reviewing Saturday if you got it figured out, or probably the one that you didn't do last time. Uh, but and if you're going to have it, I guess you are. Wait and
Yeah,
see, right? Wait and see.
yeah.
The
It's gonna be a
suspense is
surprise.
killing me. Dum, bum, bum, bum.
It's gonna be a
Um,
surprise. Oh my god, I got so much crap to get in order.
the
Let's
closest I ever came to having a rat or anything like that was the prairie dogs that I had. And they're kind of like cute little Buddhas, but they're kind of like squirrels when they're born. They look a
mm,
lot like a squirrel.
yeah, a lot cuter than
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm
till
still
they
kind of
put that
funky.
fat on that, where they sit there and they look like a little Buddha, you
Well,
know,
yeah,
uh, they really do. I mean, they,
yeah, they're
kind
cute.
of a figure eight,
Mm. There's
with the
a,
body
a
type.
YouTube channel with these people that have prairie dogs, and I swear they got like 3 million viewers or some shit, man. Prairie
Wow.
dogs are popular.
Well, they make that's been an upcoming thing for I guess about um 30 years, like I said, at one point I was writing a pet book on them and did some
Mm.
research. And there wasn't a
Yeah, I almost
lot
got
out
one.
there. I had to scour some books to find it. It's not like in the days of Google search. It was we're talking about the early 90s, early mid 90s,
Yeah.
when the internet was just starting out up around 95. And I was
Well,
unaware of
yeah, I
it.
remember
Uh,
because yeah, it was probably mid '90s or so when I first saw them being sold as pets,
mhm.
and
Yeah,
I was like, I was
I worked
interested
at a
in them,
feed and
but
tack
never
place
ended.
for a year, a feed and tack place.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a gardening section, with uh,
Yeah,
pansies and other things that we sowed,
yeah,
and
that was one of my first jobs
feed, dog
in high
food. And
school.
one time I
Yeah.
came back sunburned. I can't remember where it was from, but I was sunburned bad. And
Uh,
the manager said, "We'll put some hot. This is for." I said, "Do you have anything for sunburn here?" And he said, "Well, this is for hot spots for horses. Try this." And it was like my body was covered in ants biting me. It was like,
oh,
ah,
geez.
I was having an allergic reaction, and
Oh,
it took me a long time I
sorry.
used to clean up the pens, like for the guinea
Mm.
pigs, the gerbils. Didn't like, sorry, don't like those. The prairie dogs I did, but uh,
Yeah,
we
guinea pigs I never cared for
we had
either.
ferrets, but we kept them away from the prairie dogs. Not that they could get to them anyway, but
But
ferrets
they'd
will
eat them
eat
if
a
they
prairie
could.
dog. It looks like they must eat it one bite at a time because they couldn't swallow that thing whole. I mean, ferrets aren't that big, but prairie dogs are about the size of ferret, except He looks like
Hmm.
toothpick,
Yeah.
wiry.
Well,
Inside
I'm
the teeth.
afraid,
You don't
dude.
want to get bit by one of those things.
They're all part of the mink family.
Weasel.
So I mean,
Yeah.
weasels. Yeah, those fucking things are. I mean, when they go to town, they go to town, man.
Crooked Painter says when I lived in Gary, my neighborhood had a rat as big as a small dog. I threw a brick at it one day and effer caught it. After that, I called him Big Tim. Is that true?
Holy
Let's
shit, Cricket!
drink
You lived
for it.
in Gary, dude. I was born in Gary.
I don't know what it was, but with on my skin, yeah, I mean, my wife, and then later I said, man, they're like, why did you take so long doing the cages? I said, I can't hardly stand it, man. I'm just, you know, it's like I'm itching all over. You know how you get when you're
That's wild, dude.
sunburned, and then just, and if it's really bad, it's probably a lot worse than that. And so called my wife, was going to go home early, and she says, go into the bathroom and wash that stuff off. You're having an allergic reaction to it. And it did feel better once I got it off. So I don't
Yeah.
know what it might have just been smothering out where my skin couldn't breathe. I don't know.
Well, Cricket, if you're still in the area, bro, you have to come by and do a barbecue or something this summer, man. I'm only about 15 miles south of Gary now. I'm in Crown Town. I know you know where that is.
You said the magic word barbecue, and I do have a barbecue recommendation for today. Brown
Mm.
sugar molasses baked beans by Kingsford.
Oh, very nice.
Have you seen them?
Fancy that.
They're at Dollar Tree.
Oh,
I got
all
a
right.
couple
No,
cans of
I
it.
haven't
Going to
been
try
to.
them out.
Yeah, I haven't been to Dollar Tree in about a month, man. I just haven't
You
felt
might
like making
find
it.
one of these Skippy peanut butter salted nut roll.
Mm? Okay, that's new.
You
I
know
never saw
that,
that one.
that you used to get these things at Stucky's, but not with Skippy. You know,
Oh, right, right,
a little
yeah.
bit different. The
Mm.
nut rolls, my dad would like to get one of those. Uh, I got something for Carrie. I'll wait
Well, I
till.
still had, good chompers and stuff. I used to love a good payday bar. It was just peanuts,
Oh
soaked
yeah,
in
I eat
caramel.
payday.
Oh, God.
One year downwind, I told you I got a chocolate covered payday. Now that I've been
Hmm.
looking for those ever since.
Yeah,
That
those are
that
good.
was good with chocolate on it.
I don't know why they didn't keep making those. It seemed
It
like they only
doesn't
made
take
them for a
that
little
much,
while.
but it's like using your dog's frontline flea medicine if you get the crabs. I hope to never get the crabs. I've seen a bad case of crabs, and I never want to have them on me. Um, no, thank you. Uh,
I'm just gonna take me a little of this horse tranquilizer. It'll be fine, Cricket Painter.
Jolly Rancher watermelon was one of the first drink mix with Jolly Rancher. Some Jolly Rancher, they they got crossovers on these drink mixes. I picked up three. Well, I picked up two new boxes today. I was very happy to that because I'm collecting these things, believe it or not, the
Ah,
drink boxes. But
you're
one of
you're
my
way
new
south of me.
favorites, Welch's Orange Pineapple. I mentioned it the other day. I got four
Hmm.
more boxes of this. Wish I could have
Ooh,
got more, but I didn't get much of a check this
that
time.
sounds pretty good though. Orange pineapple, not
I
bad.
got Jolly Rancher drink mix green apple. Look at that with the little cartoon. And I got the
Ooh,
watermelon the other day.
cool.
So Jolly Rancher's doing drink mix. I saw an odd thing. I didn't buy it. They had Pepsi uh, nail polish, Pepsi Cola
Oh, okay.
nail
Huh.
polish. Two little
That,
things of it, one red, one blue.
well,
Strange. I didn't get
different.
it though.
Remember Zima's Rex? Those old clear
Oh
malt
yeah, I
liquors
like
back in the day.
Zima. I was
Dude,
talking about that the other day. I like
what
Zima.
we used to do is get the big bag of the Jolly Ranchers that were the little rectangular ones, right? So you could fit
Hmm.
them in the bottle top. And you get a case of Zimas and you open them all up and pop fucking Jolly Ranchers into them all, and
I
just
never
let them
did that.
sit there in the fridge, and it would be like drinking a Jolly Rancher. It was awesome.
It would dissolve it. Yeah, very, very, very sweet. You know, even their drink mixes. And this is a new one there. Zero sugar Tempico
Tampico.
Mango Punch. Irresistible.
Ooh,
Singles to go.
I, I don't know. Mango is that I like the juice. I like the flavor of mango, but I don't like the texture of the fruit.
Yeah,
So I don't like to eat it fresh.
yeah.
I'd rather have it
Um,
like blended into something.
Not bad in fruit punch. I told my physician today that I'd quit sodas and went to these drink mixes. And I, sometimes get stuff that I prefer not to, like green apple. It's okay. I've got a green apple in there now, another brand. It's okay, but not my preference or whatever. But I can't pass up the box, at least once. Give it a try, for the box because I'm collecting these boxes, believe it or not. I've got a growing collection. So I'm very glad that I'm able to add to my advertising collection of drink boxes. I know it's kind of strange, may not ever be worth anything, but I'm kind of, it's something inexpensive, something I'm going to buy anyway, something to drink, right? Um, and the graphics on the boxes and things. I don't know. I
There you
guess
go.
that collecting as advertising. Really, I think I might have something here with the drink boxes because you want to collect something that might become popular. I mean, there's one guy that's written with his wife a bunch of the well, he did a fine china price guide. He did price guides on a lot of stuff. Banana stamps. He started collecting banana stamps, and I
Yeah,
did here.
the
I
little
did
the
years
little
ago too.
stickers. You mean like off the
Yeah,
bananas?
yeah, uh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, and he's got a nice collection of banana stamps, and
I
um,
I had no idea.
I guess that would kind of under useless advertising. I don't know, but some of those banana stamps from back in the day were quite graphically nicely done. It's
Yeah, the little
around
Chiquita
here,
banana girl that was, that used to have the little dancing girl like on every
and,
banana.
and when the Olympics would come around, they would do like Winter Olympics on the bananas, the salted
Oh
bananas
yeah,
and stuff when I was kids.
yeah.
So yeah, you want to collect something that, and like Pez, that's disposable. Nobody ever really thought it would become collectible, and yet it is very collectible.
Yeah,
eBay was kind of
crazy man.
halfway started because people wanted to swap their Pez, and have a site to trade their Pez and buy Pez from. So, and I got Carrie a pop up. I found another one, Harley Quinn pop up.
Oh,
So I got
there you
her
go.
one. I'll send it with her order, surprise her. Uh, really, the only
Did I?
reason I bought that other one was thinking of her, and I guess Harley's okay. I don't have many Harley stuff. I'm not a big Harley fan like he is, but who
I like
knows?
Harley. I think she's a little
Harley.
more over popularized than maybe she should be, but she's a pretty cool character.
Well, I know of at least one person. He used to work at the comic shop, the local comic shop. I don't know whatever happened to him. He was not an ambitious guy. I mean, basically, he just wanted to work at the comic shop and get what he liked to read. And a lot of times, he would read it and bring it back later to trade, so he'd get credit and then buy other newer
And by
stuff.
the
Yeah, I mean, it was a cycle, right? He didn't have a car. I guess he walked to his place of
back and
work,
forth to work. Yeah.
but he was would get tattoos. He was last time I talked to him, he had a Batman, Harley, and Joker tattoo. That was quite extensive and expensive.
Oh
He,
wow.
I mean, he had to do it in stages, and of course,
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you
being
get a big
tattooed, you
piece,
want to do it in stages, because it
yeah.
hurts you swelling and whatnot too.
Well, it'll actually you can like if you go too long, it's a tattoo session. You can go into shock because of just all the stress on your nerves.
Yeah,
So they
I
got to
can
be real,
imagine. Yeah.
real careful.
Hey, that root canal that I had at the dentist, that was stressing me something fierce for a couple hours. Uh, that was almost like being tattooed. You're just all, I mean, I was tense as a, you know, tensile
Oh
steel.
man, yeah,
Crooked Painter says, nah, I moved. I'm down in Indianapolis.
yeah. So now he's way south than me,
Now, do you watch the NASCAR Crooked Painter
but you're
down
still
there?
in a worse neighborhood.
Indianapolis
Cookie.
500? Do you go see the Indianapolis 500? I would go see it.
Oh, I used
Uncle,
to. My dad used to go every year. Yeah, I told you
my uncle
he was
did.
a cop.
My uncle did too till he passed away. He went. Uh,
But yeah, back way back. I don't know if you knew this or not, but they would let you camp in the infield. So if you came in the night before the race with a camper, and there were spots, you could pay for a spot on the infield of
when
the
you say
500.
infield, right in the center.
Yeah, in the green part
Wow.
where everything
Yeah.
else goes around. It was
Yeah.
all full of trailers back in the day, and you could just sit right outside of your trailer and grill and barbecue and watch the
One of
fucking
those
cars go
things
by.
is
Wow!
just as bad as a heavy metal concert on your ears. I mean, when they come around,
Oh yeah,
it
dude.
is loud.
The only thing is, it's like they come by and they're gone so fucking quick, and before you know it, they're on the other side of the track already. It's like holy
Mhm.
shit, and then you hear them coming back around again. It's like building. And it's
Well, when I was a kid and I went up to Flint, Michigan, I mentioned that the other day that I'd been to Flint, Michigan. My uncle used to live there with my cousin and his aunt. That was the uncle and aunt that passed away in 2023, I believe it was. No, it wasn't. I got his obituary here somewhere. There's Terry's
wait,
obit. It's probably buried. This stuff's lit. Yeah, there's Terry's obit. My
yeah,
neighbor. My neighbor's son Andy. He said he would probably be back this weekend. You know, he told me that'll be like 3 weeks from when he first initially said he'll be back. So
oh, I bet.
uh, he was going to give me like $100 to put out a few bags of mulch. You know,
Uh-huh.
I did pick up some limbs that I blew down in the front yard and been collecting the mail. She gets a lot of mail, and a lot of it's I don't know. You'll
Chunk.
have to say yeah, chunk it or say return to center, whatever, and stop a lot of that stuff that Terry had coming. I don't know, but it'll be a process. Eric and Boyd in the house.
Hey,
Indy
Eric.
IndyCar is nothing compared to the NCAA Final Four crap. Yeah,
Yeah, I bet
he
that's
doesn't.
just crazy down there.
He doesn't do the races or basketball nonsense. I get it.
Yeah, no, I haven't done races since I was a kid, but
Well, I mean, I'd like
my
to
dad
go
used to
and
get
see the
good
Indy
tickets. So
500 once. I think that
yeah.
would be something you could mark off your bucket list, you know, to
Well,
go
dude,
to the
we're
Indy
talking back in
500.
the day too. This was 40, hell, nearly 50 years ago when I was going. So you were talking like Bobby Unser, Al Unser, like the old school legends were still
Yeah,
driving.
yeah.
Dude.
I went I
Yeah.
went to the
Jimmy
I went
Foyt,
to a race. I don't think that there was what was neat after the
AJ
race, we
Foyt.
got to go down to where you're talking about the midsection or at least down on the track and
Mm-hmm.
meet the driver. My uncle was friends with one of the drivers.
No, that's cool.
Real
Yeah,
close. I thought that was pretty neat as a kid, you know, to get down
heck
there
yeah.
and actually get to talk to the driver. But man, when
Yeah, I
those
know
cars
that.
would come around, it would just blow your ears out every time. It was loud in that stadium, you know.
We had a smaller raceway up here close to my town, just
Hmm.
over in Sherville. Is US 30 drag strip where the big ones roll. And of course, my dad knew security there and everything too, so I got to actually take a trip down the fucking drag strip in a dragster one time. That was pretty cool. Scary as hell, but it was fun.
Only 390 calories per serving of this nut roll. That's a lot.
Yeah, but it's mostly protein.
Yeah.
Peanut
And
got a
what's
lot
a
of protein.
serving? You know, I'm going to eat this whole thing all in one pop. Probably tonight. I stay in Jonesboro tonight to spray. Everybody
Yeah,
is. Everybody's staying in Jonesboro to spray. I've got, I think,
Mario and Jetty.
Zone
Yeah.
B10. You know, we've got new maps, and
Hmm.
I'm not sure where Zone B10 is. 10, 10B. So
Oh, they like divided you guys up different now with a new system or
I
something.
went on one of those out there where the factories are, and I missed a road. I was right there on the line, and I kept going and kept going. I went 13 miles out of town. I wound up in Bay, Arkansas.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I had to book it back to my zone. Just
Like
whoops.
fuck.
I think that was before they put the little tattletales in the truck. But I went way outside of my zone. I just kept going, and then finally saw a church sign. Because I was on the
Right.
back end of. If I kept going, I'd have hit Truman, which,
Oh shit!
yeah, there's a back way. I said, wow, I never knew there was a back way, to
See, yeah, you never know what you
buy.
find out.
You never know till you just keep on going. Like, I'm just going to keep on cruising 14
We're just
miles an
gonna
hour.
take a drive and wherever we end up. We used to do that when we were kids. Just head out, and just drive.
Mario and Andretti. I remember Mario.
Pick a
Yeah.
pick a direction. Which way you want to go? East,
And
south,
just go.
west?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
just
my dad
drive.
always like on Sundays go and drive up in the hills, and it's like the mountainous areas, up and down. And
Oh,
I
that's
would get
fun.
car sick and throw up nearly every time.
Dude,
Didn't
you're so
enjoy it.
lucky I
I
wasn't
enjoyed
your
it when
dad.
I
You'd
got
have
up
been
there, but
strapped to
on
the
the way
back
up
of a
there and on
motorcycle.
the way back was living the hell.
You-
You know.
I'd have had your ass strapped to the back of a motorcycle if I was your dad.
Well, never had. I mean, the closest I'd ever had a motorcycle was a mini bike, and I ran it under a combine. Nearly killed myself.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
The
Best.
combines are pretty big. I mean, it should be pretty easy to avoid.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I could have avoided it. I admit that I panicked. I gunned it. I was hit it going full steam. Fortunately,
Oh
the
shit.
header was about halfway up, but now underneath the header it does a V, right? It comes down and then up. There was
Hmm.
a mark on my helmet and a mark on the, you
Oh
know,
shit! You just
it,
like
it
slipped right
basically,
through.
head hit first, and I went back and went off
Oh,
uh
jeez.
mini bike, and the mini bike somehow wound up on the top of the tire. I guess it hit and maybe did one of these numbers.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. But bent the frame probably. I don't know. That was the end of that mini bike. But I'd seen my brother try and make turns and crash, and he broke bones. I never did break bones. I don't think he ever
Um,
broke bones doing that, but he got
dude,
hurt. I said, I don't
I
want to
took to
drive
took
out.
to that first mini bike like a fish to water, man. My brother's 5 years older than me. My dad brings home the mini bike. It's Christmas present, so we're
Mhm.
waiting until the first day of spring when we can finally ride this thing. The weather's thawed out enough. And my brother gets on there and promptly proceeds to full blast it right into the neighbor's chain link fence
Ooh.
and gets up and walks away from it and goes, I don't want anything to do with that. And I was like, can I try that? He said, yeah, go ahead. Fuck, dude. I jumped on that thing and I
Wound up
never got
fixing.
off until that motor died. I rode that thing until it fucking died. Yeah,
Uh,
I wonder why
Not
my
ran
knees
out
are
of
trapped.
gas. You just wore it out, huh?
Oh, dude, I ran that little thing for probably from I think I was like 8.5, 9 when I first got it till I was
Mhm.
about 13, and I've been out all day playing on the trails, jumping and fucking around and doing all the shit I always do. And I was on my way home for dinner, and there's one last little bunny hop on the way out right before you hit the street again for the back of the neighborhood, and I goosed it a little bit on that little bunny hill. And I come down, man, that back tire, every pop, fucking spoke just popped right out of it. Fucking thing went, chain wrapped up all around the back end of it. I immediately went into the slide, got thrown off the thing like Superman. Had to push it home, left a big old skid mark because the back tire was locked up.
Uh-huh.
I immediately went out and bought me a YZ80 after that, and then I really started having some fun.
Hmm. Good times. Eric and Boyd says Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. It's ground pounding stop quarter mile mayhem at Big Daddy Don Garlett's.
Garlets, yeah, Big Daddy Darn Garlets.
My dad used to repeat that all the time when we were kids. I was like, Dad,
Who
enough.
was it? It was Don Garlits and who was the other guy that drove the Cobra and the Mongoose, right? The Dragster. Was that Garlits that drove one of those? I can't remember. But that was like the big, showdown back in the day.
Well,
Featuring Mongoose and Cobra.
my uncle liked those races all the way up until the time he died. He would go up by himself. I don't think my aunt had any after a while or whatever. She didn't really have the interest that he did. I don't know why. Maybe fast cars, speed. I don't know. He just enjoyed it. He'd go up once a year and meet old friends in Flint, Michigan, and go to the races and probably have a few beers or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't so much a speed guy. I was more about, the jumps and stunts and shit like that, having fun with it.
I picked this frame up at the dollar store the other day. Just I wasn't going to show it, but I thought it might make a good round stencil.
Oh, there you go. And it's a pretty little frame.
25, I'll try it,
But yeah, every time I think about those days, my knees hurt more. I don't know why. Man, I had fun when I was a kid.
Good. I did too. Like I said, had a lot of
nothing. I would take none of it.
Stuff behind us. And I could just go out all day and use my. Nobody's going to be in that pasture,
I don't regret any of the trees I've climbed or cliffs I've jumped off of or dunes I've rolled down or any of the stupid shit we used to do.
Feeling it now.
I bet, yeah, boy, you can feel it now. Mm-hmm. They don't tell you that when you're, 15. And even if they do, they, you ain't fucking gonna listen. Yeah, whatever. I'm indestructible, man. Get out of my way.
I am Superman. I can do anything.
That's how I felt, man. Up until I hit about 40 and got my first serious whack. I was like, oh, damn it.
I jumped 25 foot out of trees and stuff.
Oh, yeah, dude. We used to, get out there as far as you could on a branch, until you knew it was going to break. You'd be standing on one and hanging on the other and then just break it and ride it back down to the ground. Jump off. Fucking stupid shit. Oh my god, dude! I thought I was paralyzed one time. We had a rope set up on this tree off a hillside, and you could jump up. Oh, that's so cool!
Original artwork, watercolor available, signed by Homer Glitch himself.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right. Now this one's sewed. This
you can
one
send that to me for my birthday next year.
I will be mailing to Elsie because he bought that one off the campaign. And this is being made into a trading card for everybody because this was a stretch go along with the Sea Demon card.
But anyway, I go to swing off this rope one day, right? It's just fun. It was wintertime, so we were wearing gloves and all that shit. And I jump on, and about halfway through the swing, my hand slipped. And of course, I fall, hit the ground and on a hill, so I slide a little bit. And I'm laying there out of breath. My buddy comes
knocked the breath out of you.
Yeah, he's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." Right? And then I go to stand up, and I can't move. I'm like, "What the fuck? I can't get up." But I'm moving. My legs are moving. It's like I'm trying to get up, but it's like the ground is holding. There was a fucking root from a tree sticking up.
Ooh.
And apparently that little 6 inches that I slid, it went right up underneath my belt. And I didn't even realize it. My
Well, at
buddy
least
had to
it
pull me
didn't
like,
puncture your lung or
oh yeah,
something.
no, I'm lucky it didn't do something worse. I mean, because I didn't
Yeah,
even feel it, you know.
yeah.
Plus, I had, I was with snow pants on and shit, so I was pretty padded when I hit the
So
ground.
it just kind of hooked you.
Yeah, it just hooked me and had me pinned to the ground. My buddy had to pull me like 2 feet up the hill before the fucking thing was like, I thought I was paralyzed for a second. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you would have hit your back on, yeah, you could have been, you know,
Oh, dude, I
or
have
something like
pancaked
that.
myself more than once. Trust me.
I mean, I've heard, people doing that.
I've pancaked it a couple of times, and I've Supermaned it off of a dirt bike. I don't even know.
That-
All I know is I got a really good knack for diving and rolling. You got to time it just right and hit the ground and roll, and you'll be fine. If not, things get messy.
Trading cards.
Woo-hoo.
I
Good
gotta
to see
clean
you
up.
streaming earlier, Eric. Sorry I couldn't stay. I was trying to get this guy on track, but he was already at it. He was ahead of me,
Yeah, well, I try.
kind of.
Kind of. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was supposed to meet at Omer. I said, "How about meeting about noon?" Because I knew my stuff would be done about noon. And I did look at the clock, but there was still time on the clock. I said, "Well, I got time to finish this." Totally forgot about it and went to bed. I was tired
Yeah, man.
because I got up early and got ready, and I was going to make sure I did not forget about my annual physical. I'm not
Annual physical.
annual
So,
physical.
did you get the old bend over and cops there, buddy?
No, no, nothing expensive like that. We'll see how my cholesterol is doing this year.
Mm.
Uh, this will be one of the pieces that's in.
Well, hell, you don't eat nothing, so your cholesterol should be pretty good.
I eat. I mean, I eat to survive, right?
I mean, I guess. Swamp
Okay.
dragon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Remember when I did that? That's all brushwork.
Mm. Yeah, that turns out cool.
This will be in the 10 years of August. Damn it. You still alive, Rex? Yes, I am. It's good to see you, Emmett. I am still alive. If you missed me and I was gone, yeah. I was gone to
Emmett,
Atlanta for a little
wow.
while.
Good to see you, dude. I haven't seen you in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Everything all good?
Well, he's still, giving Risey stuff and other people.
Wow.
That's last time I
Riley's
saw him.
Riley. You either love him or hate him. I love him.
I mean, it's amazing how much
Hey, damn it.
he streams. He and I kind of have that in common.
Yeah, I think he's
He
been
streams
doing
a
a lot
lot.
of
I
gaming
stream a
lately,
lot.
right? Is it he like just constantly gaming or what? Because I wake
Yeah,
up at
that
weird
and
fucking
his
hours,
his
dude.
dive bar
Uh-huh.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll be going like late night, and I'm waking up to go to work at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he'll
yeah. I
still be
saw him
fucking.
late night last night. I think
Mm-hmm.
streaming Risey's dive bar or whatever.
He
I
just
am good. I hardly watch many streams. Yeah. See, I think a
yeah.
lot of
I
people
don't
that
blame you, Emmett.
has done that. They've cut down on the stream watching. I think there for a minute that was a thing,
I
but
think
it's
it
kind
gets
of
to your
being
mental
pulled
health
back.
after a while, bro. Seriously, if you let
Yeah.
yourself get
Hey,
caught up in
Jonas.
all this shit, I think it can really, it can affect your shit. It's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, your whole life. You know what I'm saying? You
Well,
know.
yeah, and then especially with YouTube, once people get monetized and shit like that, then it becomes a whole new thing.
Yeah.
It's an extra
Yeah.
part of your income. So
I was surprised. I played that Motley Crue song the other day, and they didn't take that down. I don't think It might have. I'm not sure. I'd
That's
have to
because
go over to
Crowley
YouTube.
Moore is cool, man. They don't just strike everybody.
Yeah, okay. All right. Whatever you say. Sure. Just say yes and nod your head and go on.
It's not them anyway. It'd be whoever owns the rights to the song. So it's whatever.
You
But
know,
maybe they
YouTube
do.
didn't say anything about it. I'm
Oh
surprised,
man.
actually.
Well, I don't. It has to be reported to YouTube. I think they don't just like monitor that shit. Like people that own the songs and all that, they've got like little bots and shit that sweep the internet. And if you use their shit, they want to get paid.
And it says, and when you stop watching regularly, YouTube stops recommending the streams.
Yeah, and then they start like randomly removing you from streams you haven't watched in a while. I noticed that too. They'll just like, oh, I'm like, I know I'm subbed to this guy. Why am I unsubbed all of a sudden?
Probably 6 months or more. You remember me saying, I'll be here long after a lot of these son of bitches are gone. Do you remember
Yeah,
me saying that?
I
I'm
remember you
still
saying
here
that.
daily. I took about a week and a half off to go to Atlanta, Georgia's on a working vacation. But
They need some help. Yeah.
and we did work. We did work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was much like in that disaster that I did in Gainesville, around the Gainesville area for Florida. It was
Oh yeah,
sun up
dude.
and sun down.
I almost did that shit, dude. When I was working for the county, I went and got wildland firefighter certified. Did the whole big test and all that bullshit. And then they
I
had the
saw.
wildfires out in California, dude. And I talked to a couple of old timers that had been out there, and they were like, "No, don't do it, man. You do not want to do that."
I saw Lord Sinatra. I said, "How you feeling?" I think he might have been in Katie's stream
Uh huh.
earlier. I guess our Monday stream.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
Finn
hadn't
was in
seen
there.
Lord Sinatra around.
Yeah, he donated some money. Katie's fucking laptop is dying. She got good news. So people like, I mean, everybody just fucking poured in money, man. She had more than what she was asking for before the end of the stream.
Emmett says, but it's good to know that the rat Sinatra has lost his audience and Dark Gift is finally being called a snake by the audience. I'm happy now.
All right, Emmett. As long as you're happy,
Peace
brother.
and harmony. Tell them about your show real quick. Let me go ahead and get Abby in, and I'll be right back. After these
All right.
messages, we'll be right
Just
back.
let's see.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. No, it's Saturday,
Sunday,
Saturday, Saturday at
smoking
high
U.S.
noon.
30 drug strip. Uh, anyway, yeah. So I'm doing a show on Saturdays now. Supposed to be a comic review and then just a chat. Usually keep it for about an hour. Try to keep it light, but I don't care. We can get into whatever is happening. I'm good with all that. Uh, but yeah, it's just been rough trying to get up and started. It's been a rough year for me, man. My knee has been really acting up. My back's been acting up on me lately. Can't get in to see the doctor until the 20th of this month, so hopefully I'll have something at least for the pain in my knee or some idea of what the hell's going on. Uh, but yeah, I just got so much to get organized. Uh, just had a lot of personal shit going on, and you're trying to work on a project and have a goal that you can do, apart from just all the regular daily shit. And there's just no getting away from all the regular daily shit just getting in the way. So once we get things a little bit more less chaotic around here, I guess you could say, uh, I'll be moving forward. But I'm moving forward anyway. It's just slower than I would like. Uh, but I'd like to start doing the show more a couple times a week. I only review books that I backed from CG or Indie Comics. Uh, so I'm not doing like reviews of old Marvel books and stuff like that. It's just only the stuff I bagged, only the new stuff. And I'm being completely honest. And if I like it and I like the artwork and I think the story's good, I'll tell you so. If I think your artwork's good and your story needs work, I'll tell you that. And some people are gonna like it, some people ain't. But so far, uh, most of the books that I've done reviews on, I've gotten responses from people who made them, and nobody's been mad at me yet. So that's a good thing.
Emmett says, Shadowhawk, I hope your knee gets better soon. It sucks when your body starts to fail you. Hopefully it works out for you. No cruise deals, Emmett. I've
Yeah,
not heard
thanks,
you
Emmett.
talk about cruise deals. um, go to Alaska, We need to take Lack up there. He could probably show us something and feed us to the bears. Um,
Eric, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, dude. He's never done me no harm, so I got nothing against Steve G. I don't know what's happened with anybody else, and I don't care. I
I
don't
don't
want to get
keep up
into
with
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get in the middle of all that. Everybody's your business is your business. And my business is mine.
Just looking at all my passwords. I set up, like in one day, I set up Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Odyssey, Yahoo, Patreon, Discord, Tumblr, Parler, Gitter. Well, I didn't set up Parler. Gitter, Rumble. Well, I guess that was it. It does say Indiegogo password. I don't know if that's. I don't think I put it down on there. That might have been helpful had I saved that.
Yeah, you might have needed that one.
Yeah, because I'm not getting all my history over there on Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
People steal back books. I thought the community was dead. The numbers for new campaigns were not good. But hey, if you love what you love, to more power to you. Yeah. And
I'll tell you what, buddy. Just up until the last, I don't know, I guess 2 years, but it goes in cycles with CG. It seems like it didn't
Yeah.
seem like it's been 2 years, but it's been about that. Bunch of feuds started again. But as far as like promotional shows and stuff like that, Rex and I are still here every day. Katie Did's channel, there's a bunch of shit talking going on about her, but I have not seen that girl do nothing wrong to anybody. She's a sweetheart.
Well, her computer was down recently, right? Or she got
Yeah,
struck
yeah.
down.
What I said, she had a stream today, and
Yeah.
everybody was just
Regular time, her
donating,
regular time. I
donating.
know she did one.
Well, she hadn't been able to do Mondays for a while because of her job.
Yeah.
But they fucked her on her last job because they went, well, we want you to switch up your schedule and come in and work on Mondays, which fucked up her
Ah.
show. So
Well,
she
now,
was
I
like,
mean,
okay,
she would
fine.
go for like one show would be six something
Yeah,
hours. She'd
dude,
go
yeah,
a
she
long
does
time.
5-6 hours on a Good Morning Comic Skate or
That's
whatever.
wild, isn't it? That's because those are
Yeah, dude, I
those
don't
are
know how
pretty
she
good.
does it,
Well, like the other
but
day, I did 12 hours of streaming. That was a lot, and I could have done more. But you get that you get going, and
but
it's
anyway, this was supposed to be like her
the next
first,
day you're gonna be
big Monday show back because
dragging.
I guess she got a new job because she got
Hmm.
fucked by the old one. Uh, Got a new job now. She's got her schedule back set
New
up.
baby on the
So,
way.
baby, did what?
Well, you said she got fucked, but anyway, um,
I did
that
not.
leads to pregnancy. Didn't you know that? But anyway, just kidding. Shadowhawk, maybe she got the Lelam. Yeah, when I went on the one time I was on Katie Did show, uh, kind of shilling Devil Flyer,
Mm.
which was I don't know a couple months ago. Lelam was on there. There was a lot of people. B.A. Turner was on there, and then he left, and there was some others, but it was just Katie Did, me, and Leland. And Leland
Yeah.
was like asking me, he was kind of running
Oh, dude,
interference.
fucking
He was
Liam's
like,
fucking.
who's the greatest villain of all time? I guess I should have picked out a villain for my universe.
No,
And they
it's
would have
fucking
said, "Well,
Liam.
who's that?" I
He's a
don't know.
punk.
I said, "Doctor Doom." Yeah,
I don't know. And I
he's
think
a knob. He's a knob. That's an Australian
Ethan
term.
just likes to egg him on, dude. Because I mean, I gotta tell you, I was shocked when Ethan came out and gave this rave review for Liam's fucking dinosaur book. I was like,
Uh
"Are
huh.
you fucking
Well, now
kidding
it
me,
was a
man?"
good looking book, but
I
yeah.
guess I mean, from what I saw of it, it looked okay, but it's got busted
You gotta
Liam. You
wonder
know,
what's going on behind the scenes, right? Please give me a second chance. I know I burned you to the
dude.
ground
I
before.
think Ethan just likes fucking yanking people's chains every once in a
I
while. He's
think
like, and this guy
Well,
wants
I
to
mean,
keep coming
I
back.
think he and Trump probably have that in common because
Yeah,
Trump
he's
does
like,
that.
if you're just gonna keep coming back and begging for it, I'm just gonna keep giving it to you. You know?
Speaking of eggs, I bought my first dozen eggs. They've been about like $5.95 here continuously. They were
Yeah.
$2.95 today, and I broke down and bought
Woo!
a dozen eggs.
There you
$3,
go.
but still three
Yeah,
bucks is still
the new
$3.
chickens that had
The
to
new chickens.
be hatched after they
Mhm.
killed all the ones right before Biden left are now starting to lay eggs. So prices will come down. Everybody's been fucking crying. Food prices haven't come down. Blah, blah.
I'm not
It,
crying. I just don't buy that product if it gets too hot, too high. Start boycotting it till they do bring the price down. That's what I do.
I mean,
I find an alternative, you know.
is that not what we do, right? I mean, as men, no matter what happens, no matter what the situation is, no matter how we feel, we find a way to get through it, a way to fucking handle it, a way to take care of it,
Navigate another course. Yeah. Yeah.
so that our families are taken care of.
Yeah. I mean, I see some families come in there and buy gallons and gallons of milk, lots of eggs and stuff like that. And it's like, man,
Oh,
maybe
bro,
at this
I mean,
point, your
if
little
you got a bunch of
Mennonite
kids,
or,
you need it.
your Mennonite or, uh,
Oh yeah.
uh, what
Whatever
are the
fucking
others?
um,
The Amish asses need to get some chickens and get some cows, you know, or something.
bro, I'll tell you what. Most of the Amish here, they don't even go to fucking grocery stores. They got their own little
Mhm.
farm on their own little plot of land. They own a big old chunk of southeast Indiana.
Yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
go down. I used to have to go down there for work, dude, and I get stuck behind a bunch of horse and buggies. They're having some kind of Amish day or some shit. I couldn't even put my foot on the accelerator. It's just step on the brake, take your foot off the brake, step on the brake.
Uh,
Fucking crazy.
yeah. Now you know how I
But dude,
drive, going
they make some great
a
food, man. I'll tell you what.
fierce pace of
Oh,
14 miles an hour in that truck. I mean,
sorry
I've
about
had
that.
turtles
Thank
laugh
God.
at me. I'm going so
Man,
slow.
he's gonna turn it off, fucker.
You got going on? What happened? You lost your peg
Man,
leg?
fucking spam call again. Sorry.
I really gave that girl that took my blood today. I gave
Mm.
her. I you sit in and then they got an arm that comes down. It looks like a torture device. Just to prop your arm up to take your. Anyway, I was like, I told her, what was the joke? I was quipping jokes at her like boom, 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 boom. Man, I was on, man. And
Mm.
I said, next time I'll come in hobbled. And she knew what it was. She says, oh, I'm old enough to know what hobbled is. I said, yeah, I've been watching a lot of Westerns lately, a lot of
Oh,
good
dude,
songs.
we had
Hobble your horse.
when I worked for the
Boot camp
newspaper,
song.
because it's so noisy. They
Mhm.
had like a truck come around every 6 months that would ear test you, make sure you were still good with your hearing. And
Mhm.
then they would have the bloodmobile like every 6 months come around.
And the
And I
shoe
always
and
bought
the metal shoes to protect your feet. They would come around with shoe
no,
wear
we
too,
didn't have
right?
those,
Boots.
man. I wish.
Really? We
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yeah, we
But
did.
but I always used
Steel
to
toe
sign up for
shoes.
the blood bank, And then I'd go and screw with the girls. I'd watch them. I'd be like, all right, careful, don't miss that vein. It's just
Oh,
like,
I know what I said. I'm as healthy as I guess I'm healthy as a horse. I guess I'll go to the vet next time. I said
there you
instead
go.
of here. You know, I was just quipping things from her while she's drawing my blood out. Now, wait, not too much.
Yeah.
You need a
The one
straw.
girl she was joking around with me the whole time, right? And she's like, well, you get juice and a cookie, right? And I was like, well, hook me up with the usual, honey.
They
And
never
she
give me
comes,
juice and a cookie. I feel ripped
oh,
off
dude,
every
she
time.
comes back with a
Oh,
fresh little like 8
you're
ounce can of
uh,
Welch's grape juice and
yeah.
a
Well, yeah. I used to donate blood all the time, but since I
raisin
worked at
cookie.
the rescue mission and got the TB germ, I can't donate blood anymore.
Oh
I
shit, you
haven't
got
for years.
TV, really?
Yeah, yeah, for the
Damn,
rescue mission, and from the
that
health
sucks.
department, they gave us medicine for 6 months that, and it could flare up at any time and
Yeah,
become
dude. I
full
mean,
blown.
like once that's in your system or whatever, you never know, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like Lyme disease. It could flare up, or whatever. I've
Mm.
never had any problem
Or
with it. Hopefully, I never
like
will.
MS, multiple sclerosis. I mean, some people have
'Cause-
it all their lives and are
Well,
fine.
the two guys that gave it to everybody was that was there in the mission, and good thing we found it out. He lost his left lung to it. He
No,
was a bad alcoholic. He's that alcoholic that would be on the couch all day long, urinating and defecating, and never get up for 3 or 4 days.
oh, Jesus fuck.
I mean, that's toward the end of your life, hard sell, drunk, and
I mean, I don't know. I don't
he
know
was a
what
good
the hell
guy.
that is. Like,
But now, when he was
you're
around the mission,
literally
of
trying to
course,
kill yourself.
well, you got dry drunks where they're not drunk, but they are mean, surly. It's
Hmm.
because they don't have a drink. I had to deal with that a lot. You know, I
Right.
did ask her. I did ask her. It wasn't albino zero or albino negative. I did ask her my blood type, and she said it would cost us a lot to find that out, or whatever, or cost you a lot, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
The only reason I wanted to know is to see if I was compatible with my sister if I had to donate a kidney to her.
Yeah, I volunteered, dude, when I was like 19. I was gonna donate a piece of my liver to a buddy of mine. He was actually my brother's buddy, but me and him got
Just
to
a
be friends.
piece? I didn't know you
'Cause
could donate a piece.
oh yeah, dude, your liver grows back. It's the one organ that grows back. You can get like half of it cut off, and it'll grow back.
Well, now I've heard tell that your tongue will grow back too. Not if you cut it out, of course, from the root, but now if you like cut the
No, but if you like pierce it, yeah, if you don't keep that
what
piercing in there, it'll
well, that
close up.
earlobes too that way too.
Hmm. Yeah, I used to have an earring when I was a kid, dude, but there's nothing now. I couldn't put a fucking.
Like I
I'd
had a
have to,
friend, he had a
I'd have to
scar
get a
across his
stapler.
tongue because he bit his tongue. He almost bit it off. But now if
Hmm.
you bit, let's say, a good quarter of it off or something, it'll grow back apparently.
Yeah, like
So
if you just like bite off the tip or some shit. Yeah,
yeah,
which is
not
crazy.
if you totally cut it out. No.
Right, but there are
You're
very few
you're
things that do
There
that on
have
a
been
human
some rare
body.
cases where appendixes, they've taken their appendix out and it's grown back.
Get the fuck out. Fuck the appendix. Nobody even knows what it does. Still,
Well, God made a mistake. That's what you're saying. Okay, got it.
I'm not
Uh,
saying God made a mistake. I'm just saying nobody knows what it does yet. It's like the appendix is just there to
uh,
cause.
it's a
It's either
cleansing organ, I
it's either
think.
really nice and helpful for you somehow,
It's your
or it
prehensile
fucks your
tail.
world up.
It's your prehensile tail that was absorbed by your body.
Yeah, of course it was. Yes, my
And there are
feathers and my
some children.
scales.
Have you seen those Indian children that they're larded as like a Dalai Lama or some, a Buddha type character,
What?
these children that have prehensile tails growing
I
out
have
their spinal
not
column.
seen this.
You not seen prehensile tails?
I know what a prehensile tail is. I have not
Look
seen
it
it
up
on
on
like an
YouTube. I bet
actual.
they have
Are
a
you sure it's
living
fucking not
example.
AI, Rex? Are you getting tricked by the
No,
thing?
oh, see, there's only one reason I hate AI, because people say it's AI now, and when it may not be,
Well, dude,
it's
it's
just
so fucking hard to
automatically, oh, it's got
tell
to be
me.
AI. That's incredible. So it's got to be AI. There are kids out there that are born with prehensile tails.
All right. I have yet to
It's
see a
not
kid
AI. It's not
swinging
an
from a
added
tree
tail.
like a monkey or a possum, but when
Yeah.
I do, I'll let you know.
I bet you could look up on YouTube children with prehensile tails or something,
Dude, I think
or
dude,
something, and
that
you
would be
probably.
awesome to have a prehensile
No,
tail
it's
like
not
that.
awesome. It's how are you gonna ever get a girl that way?
Dude, you got a prehensile tail like Nightcrawler that you can use basically as an extra arm and fucking everything else. Fuck yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, Eric and Boyd says you can't regrow your peen. Yeah, if you're
Right.
cutting off
And
your
I'll tell you
peen
what,
thinking that
I'll find
a
a way to
larger
make
one's
them
gonna
girls
grow, don't
appreciate
worry.
that tail.
I'm saying you could see you lose a portion of your tongue and it grow back. So to say the liver is the only organ that'll grow that portion back that you remove from it. Now,
Yeah, not that
from
tip,
your
Eric.
portion, he would grow a whole new liver, right? Just from that one portion, it would grow the rest
Yeah,
of the organ,
he would
and
grow a new one, and then yours would grow back the
he would
portion
have
he
to
was.
be the same blood type, though, right? Or take
Yes,
medicine so his
you
body
would.
doesn't
It's
reject it.
it's even more than just blood type. You gotta have like a tissue sample done and shit, dude. This fucking shit was painful to get this
Hmm.
test done, dude. They did some serious shit to me.
Yeah, I hear
Uh,
when they take out bone marrow from bones, that's painful too.
oh yeah, I'm sure that's gonna suck. But yeah, no, it turned out I wasn't a match, and there was nothing I could do. He ended up getting a donation from somebody, and he's still alive. As far as I know, I haven't talked to him in like a year or two. But as far as I
Yeah,
know,
cartilage
he's still
growth or
alive.
whatever. I mean, it may not be an actual tail, but it looks like one. And why does it wind up like on the spinal column above the buttocks? It looks like a tail.
Because that's where a tail will grow.
Is it a
Uh,
throwback, you monkey boy? I don't,
oh,
I,
Rex.
I don't believe
It
I don't believe
depends. You don't believe in evolution. See, I believe that God is smart enough that he created all of the creatures that he created with the ability to adapt and mutate and change to their
I
world.
believe that too on a micro level, not a major level.
Ah, I think history would argue with you about that.
Change happens, but it happens very slowly
It
over
happens
centuries.
quickly. No, that's
It
everybody says that.
it
But
doesn't take
look at all,
it doesn't veer left and take a 90-degree angle
look
turn
at
all
all
of a
the
sudden.
major events that have happened in
Show
the last
me the missing link.
since history has been fucking kept the last 6,000, 8,000 years or whatever. Whatever, man. You tell me that you don't see fucking shit all over the fucking world happening the
I
same.
believe in evolution on a micro level, not a macro level. There's a
Again,
difference.
I think there are certain points when fucking, especially humanity, takes a big step forward and avoids the fucking 1,000 years in between. Because otherwise, there's no explanation for what we do.
Well, and there's definitely mutations.
I'm happy to be a mutant. Always have been.
Yeah, like Star Wars girl. You say she's a mutant.
Star Wars.
Can can make bubbles with her eyeballs and
Anna makes me look like a goddamn fucking, faker. That girl is definitely a mutant.
Eric and Boyd says I've learned to adapt to listening to you knuckleheads.
Well, thank you, Eric. See,
Yeah.
everybody can adapt.
It
It's
almost
evolution.
sounds like we're a biker group, you knuckleheads. Uh,
Evolution is real. But that doesn't mean I don't believe God made everything. I just think he was smart enough to make everything like self-adjusting, so he didn't have to keep fucking with it. You know.
Yes, on a micro and not a macro level. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm not.
Evolution does
Blah
occur,
blah
but it
blah. You
happens.
okay? I'm
You
not
just
gonna
don't get
fight
these
you on.
divergent type things. If you do,
I'm
they're usually mutations that go nowhere genetically.
except when you look back in history, there have been many leaps in human civilization all of a sudden, fucking, where we went from fucking being mostly dirt farmers to fucking having trains and industrial buildings and fucking building things. And then all of a sudden we had a fucking war and we invented a bunch of new shit. That in the human population, it can be triggered to happen through necessity, is what I believe. In the regular, animal population and shit, it just takes place over time.
I didn't know she had a skin tag named Taggy.
No, that's Cecil. Wait,
Oh,
no, that is Anna's skin tag. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. She got web feet. She has publicly stated that her feet smell like death. She can breathe through her
she
eyeball.
eats dirt.
Blow.
Remember, she eats dirt,
She eats dirt.
or she used
Um,
to. When she
she
has a baby, it'll
before
come out a
before
mud
she
pie.
had the
Just saying.
baby, she survived on nothing but candy, hot Cheetos, and fucking Mio. I don't even know how this girl is still alive. And she's only like in her 20s, maybe or 30s.
Yeah, at that age, your body kind of gives you grace period, for
Yeah,
stupidity.
you're
Don't
in
eat
pretty good
dirt
shape
most.
at that point, right? Or you hope you are.
Which would you rather have, a dirt clod or a donut? Each have about the same nutritional value.
I guess it
One
really
tastes good,
depends
and
on
one
the
tastes like
dirt.
dirt.
I haven't gone out and compared dirt the way
I've
Anna
kissed some
has.
girls where it tasted like dirt. Just
I will have to leave that one up to the expert.
laugh out loud. We are incapable of understanding God. Stop pretending you know what His plan is or how He made us in this
Of course,
universe.
yeah.
Leave it to
I'm
science.
not
Really?
saying that I am right.
Wow.
This is just what I think happens from time to time. That doesn't fucking mean I'm right at all. I could be out of my tiny little mind. Probably am.
Well, I believe there were
But
giants for sure. I believe that there is a cover up for a lot of the giant bones and stuff from the Smithsonian and other places around the world. I mean, there's adequate evidence that there have been larger species or whatever you want to say that giants existed.
hmm shit, dude, there's been recent photos of
How
giants
giant were giants? I don't know.
existing. And like famously one guy that was fucking found this, what really intrigued him was he was taking pictures of this mountain and this cave system and shit. And then
Hmm.
one day he saw somebody walking along the top of that mountain. And when he took the picture home and looked at it, he was like, that dude's got to be about 12 feet tall. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, when you scale it out. Yeah.
Right. So he kept going back and going back. And then the dude just disappeared.
Yeah, like Freaks, the movie that was made in the 30s. We through better
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
planning and things, we've kind of made sure that those genetic defects don't enter in as often now, and large people
Oh,
or
yeah.
people with extra skin or hair, or
And the world is black.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we went to the
We're,
moon.
we're living on a frisbee,
Yeah,
baby. Which is kind of cool, actually. I don't know.
you spin me round, right, baby, right round like a record, baby.
I guess it would help us with our orbit around the sun. If we were shaped like a frisbee.
Children of the sun.
Flat Earth can't be hollow. Wait a minute. Then where does Kong come from?
Skull Island. Duh.
Duh, but where does the Skull Island come from? It's got a doorway to a hollow Earth, dude. Duh.
Yeah, according to the new, you know.
Get the lore, man. Go.
I'm just sorry the direction that they're going with that. I mean, Empire wasn't that
Fake
bad.
King Kong.
I
Nerd.
watched that for the first time recently, but I mean, the whole Hollow Earth, it's in.
It's kind of silly, I know. But I mean, isn't that the same thing they did in
Like,
what
can't
was
you come up with
that?
something better, you know, and give him a
Land of the
Thor's
Lost.
hammer and a seat to sit in, and like they're almost.
God damn it!
I mean,
Why?
why? Yeah, why? Well, you're talking about your phone calls, but I'm saying
phone call today. What the fuck?
I'm kind of saddened
Sorry,
in the way
guys,
they're
excuse my language.
blowing it with the MonsterVerse, you know.
Dude, yeah, I don't think they're heading in the right direction. I'm much more happy with the Godzilla. Was it 1941 or whatever the fuck it is?
Oh yeah, where they retroactively actually made Godzilla show up before he was even created, really, in our reality, which was the 50s.
Well,
but it
yeah,
made sense,
well,
and it touched on so many movies that have been around for 70 years. Little hints, little homages. You know,
but you
that
know that was a
plane that
big
he
deal
flew
in
was awesome.
in Japan and Godzilla. Like the studios and all that shit had to find ways to work around it because they didn't way back when they didn't want to talk about the bomb at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, and
But
they hence
Godzilla
they
is
made
a
him
dead.
look like a mushroom cloud mutation,
But
whatever.
yeah, but he's a direct result of nuclear radiation, which was his creation story.
Godzilla was a way to talk about the bomb without talking about the bomb.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the scare that people had and the scars of
Fuck yeah.
Hiroshima
You
and
imagine just being in Japan and seeing like a whole city evaporate, dude.
People were dying afterwards because they were hungry. There was no food, and they would dig up these potatoes and things like that were buried under the earth. And they were baked. The heat baked them, but they were radioactive.
Mm. That's
it's
horrible, man.
Shadowhawk, if you were there and it hit you just right, you could have wound up as a shadow.
Exactly.
On the
there
wall.
are people that got blasted into carbon fucking fibers and then spread onto the walls behind them. That's insane.
I want one where I'm picking my nose or something, like Pompeii. Did you see that guy on
my
the
luck,
ground?
I'd be taking a pee. It would just be like stand there.
Well, they had one guy whacking off in Pompeii.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
his corpse. He's there on the ground or wherever.
Well, hell, you're gonna die. I guess he figured.
I'm gonna have one last orgasm before I choke to death on fumes.
Yeah, one last one before I go.
Yeah. And nobody thought that their body cavities or however they pour plaster in that would ever get a positive image or whatever, that they would basically be preserved for 2,000 years later for people to watch you whack off forever.
Hey, Belmont Trudge Comics in the house. What's up, Justin?
One last wank, yes. Crooked Painter, one last wank. I've been giving your characters some thought.
If you're going down,
if you're going down, I'm gonna make sure I go out right. Yeah.
Go out happy.
Go out happy, yeah. Happy, joy, happy, joy. Is it Ren or is it Stimpy? Or is it just Stumpy?
That's just my brain.
Empire was the one with Scar, that other ape that wasn't as
Mm.
beefy as Kong, but he had like a bone sort of chain whip or something
Oh, is that
in
like
that.
the newest one?
Yeah, the newest one. I bought the 5-pack and it had Empire, and
Well,
basically I
I
got it
haven't.
because of that. It had all the movies
Yeah, I
just there
haven't
together.
seen that newest one yet.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think I watched. It was on Prime for a minute, and I had it, and I started watching it, but I saw like they gave Kong a gold tooth, and then they gave him like some kind of fancy
um,
arm brace or some shit. It was fucking
yeah,
gay.
an arm. That's because he hurt his arm in the movie.
I know it's still fucking
Yeah.
gay. They blinged him all out to make him,
Well,
you
what's
know. It's
wild? I showed you that Asylum movie. Asylum did the same thing with the armor on the ape and everything. You know, they had a whole new story with that.
oh
They even had like Empire in the title. So Asylum comes real close to just like I think they're almost hoping you'll pick that one up instead of the one you really want. You know, because they're so
yeah,
close. Um,
right.
yeah, in Empire, that's where he has the magenta scales that you don't like, the purple, where he powers up. What he does is he goes to a
Empire. Are
point.
you sure it's Empire? That doesn't sound.
It's something Empire. Um, I'd have to go in there and look, but he goes. I've only watched it
Okay.
once. I'll watch it again here pretty soon. I'll probably watch them all in order again. It's got Kong Island and the original
Yeah,
newer
I probably
Godzilla,
need
and
to look it up and see what the fuck it is. It's Godzilla versus Kong, all right, is the
well,
main title.
he goes to the Arctic and he defeats this kaiju that's there and
Later.
sucks up all almost like the ley lines or the magnetic, all the radiation or a lot of the radiation. It's high radiation in that area, right? So he sucks it up, and then hence you get the magenta scaling that you didn't like on the color.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. What
Pompeii
I'm
wank.
they did the
Yep.
movie I watched, that newer Toho or whatever studio was doing, the Japanese
There.
company. I was watching yesterday, and
Mhm.
they did that Godzilla versus Destroyer
Mhm.
Paranoia. Anyway, um, he like did all that shit and absorbed too much radiation, but he didn't turn pink, dude. He was red. He looked like he was on fire from the inside out.
Well, like Shin
Right.
Godzilla.
Yeah, kind of like Shin Godzilla,
Mhm.
but I'm pretty sure this was before Shin Godzilla.
I had a good image for Godzilla. Let me find it. Because we do have to have some lizard representation for today.
We love Goji.
How about a little Robbie the
Still
robot
haven't got
too?
my bottle yet, damn it.
Robbie the robot's having a bad day, as you can see.
Uh, no, I can't because I'm looking at the chat
Flamethrower.
right now.
Look, brother, I wouldn't want to go into
Well,
any kind of war zone with a bat with flammable liquid strapped to my back. No way. To be burned alive, not the way. I guess I lost Shadow. Um, Dionysus that does Toma Reckoning. Can't wait. Says issue 3 is scheduled to ship from the printers to my house on the 6th, June 6th. Trading cards expected around the same time. Various stretch goal prints are in production. Issue 4 to go live a short while after all physical prints have made it to their final destination. All digital editions have been emailed for a while now. If for some reason you didn't get yours, hit me up. Dionysus says. Here's a page from Toma Reckoning. I assume 3. Um, I did the catch up tier. I've got 1, 2, and 3 coming to me. Looks like the nurse gets it. His wife is the colorist on that. Amala, oh, you're in Colorado. Cool. Um, internet sucking, storm rolling in. Have a great night, everyone. Okay. storm rolling in. Okay. Um, so pretty soon here we'll be getting our Tome of Reckonings. Can't wait. Um, Homage cover on the left, X-Men 56 from 1969. Cover art by Neil Adams. On the right is X-Men 135 from 1980. Cover art by John Byrne and Terry Austin. You be the judge here. You can see the Neil Adams one there. Very cool cover. I'm getting ready to show you the original art that was rejected, though, and I think in a way that's almost a more dramatic and effective cover. Here was the original. I wish they would have went with this because it's much more dramatic to me. Unused X-Men cover from Neil Adams. Eventually, they'll probably do a facsimile reprint with that cover on it, just because they know no one has it. You wait and see. I don't know if they'd have to work out a deal with uh, Neil Adams or not. I know Shadowhawk would like this. We're back from the grave and ready to party. So this is a cosplay. Uh, that's pretty neat, huh? Hell yeah, Tome of Reckoning has been beautiful. Hmm. Can you imagine as cosplayers going into a restaurant like McDonald's or something like that, dressed like that? People be like, wow, freaking out. They might not think it's real, but they'd be like, wow. Who knows? I mean, with that haircut on that one, that might be um, Flying Feline and Luke, Death Metal Hero. Just saying. Just a guess. Probably not. Jim O'Reilly says, Hi, Escape, been dealing with health issues that require more study. So if I owe you pages or sculpture, just know that I am in catch up mode and I'm not doing uh, going anywhere. God willing, here are 2 completed commission pieces. Enjoy. If you need to contact me, email me as best, he says. And there are a couple of He-Man pieces that are look dope as usual. Jim O'Reilly. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Jim does good things. I want to work with him in the future. I wanted to work with him on Midnight. Um, May 31st, 1980, Funky Town. I want to take you to Funky Town. Came out. No Holds Barred, starring Hulk Hogan, premiered in theaters 36 years ago, 1989. I went to watch that. Hulk Hogan. Well, I don't know if I saw that one. I know I saw one movie with him in it. I don't know about No Holds Barred. I don't know that I've ever seen that one. He had a little movie career there for a little while. 1975, Gary DeLay introduced Pet Rocks. It's a rock, but nice packaging and stuff. Got an air hose for the rock to breathe. Really? Yeah. Jim is doing Battle Hawk cover for me. Wow. Damn, I love this piece in the Ethernet. Place in the Ethernet. Okay. Shadowhawk says, hell, Jim, love you, bro. Getting ready for dinner? You didn't tell us what you're having. What are you having, Shadowhawk, for dinner? Inquiring minds might want to know. Then again, maybe not. Hot stuff, baby, tonight. 1979. Donald Donna Summer reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. I like hot stuff. Bridges of Madison County, starring Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood had a birthday the other day. Meryl Streep opened in theaters 30 years ago. On June 2nd, 2004, Ken Jennings won his first of 74 consecutive games of Jeopardy, and that ain't easy. He later would go on to host Jeopardy. They should have said that. Um, Although I don't think he won out as the final thing. Jerry Mathers, the Beaver, turned 77 today. He's 77. Crank Yankers premiered 23 years ago. Don't remember Crank Yankers on Comedy Central. Puppets and stuff. Oh, Marathon Bar. Yes, 1973. Are you kidding? I love these Marathon bars. I'd still eat them if they were still around. Had holes in them, look like, you know, hell yeah. Marathon bars were awesome. Love Marathon bars. Basically chocolate coated caramel. I don't know why they ever did away with them. Whitney Houston released her second album, Whitney, 38 years ago, 1987. Dead Poets Society, starring Robin Williams, premiered in theaters 36 years ago, 1989. I definitely recommend Dead Poets Society to watch that. Blink, huh? Anything else exciting? Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. I went to see that at theaters 41 years ago in 1984. I was a senior in high school. Wings released their song Live and Let Die 52 years ago, 1973. Great song. June 1st, 1974, Dr. Henry Heimlich published his technique known as the Heimlich maneuver in the journal Emergency Medicine. American version of Dancing with the Stars premiered 20 years ago in 2005 on ABC. The series finale of Dick Van Dyke Show 59 years ago on CBS. It was Bill Clinton. I got to say this, 1992. Bill Clinton became the first United States president to officially recognize Pride Month. America's diversity is our greatest strength, he said. Yes, it's all part of the plan. Yeah. 2005, Coca-Cola introduced its no-calorie soda, Coke Zero. My dad drank Coke Zeros. That's what he liked. Def Leppard released Rock of Ages. Rock of Ages, 1983. On June 1st, 1954, Linus security blanket made its debut in the Peanuts comic strip. I had a security blanket, I suppose you could say. June 1st was also the birthday of Andy Griffith. I thought my father looked a lot like Andy Griffith, and I told him that. Especially later in life, Andy Griffith, scary stuff, huh? It could be worse. You could be Don Knotts, just saying. Special ed? Oh, they should do an update of well, a lot of people would have an outcry about that if you did something, a show called Special Ed, and it was Ed the Talking Horse or something. Jim is doing a Battle Hawk cover for me. I did not know that. That's cool. That's cool that you got him to do that. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be good stuff. So does that mean you got the final design down for Battlehawk? Viva Knievel was released 48 years ago. They used to show this on TV once a year. You know, it's like a special. Um, I think Hamilton, what was it? You got Gene Kelly, Red Buttons. I see Liam Neeson. Was it played straight? Because you got a lot of comedians doing that. One and only real live Evil Knievel in his final dramatic movie role. Okay, so maybe that's a different one than what I'm thinking with the uh, Hamilton, and also did Love at First Bite. He was the vampire. Remember, he also played Evil Knievel. 1947, Hostess introduced snowballs. So snowballs are, golly, almost 70 years old, I guess. 1947, Hostess snowballs, rich devil foods cake with a whip lighter than a cloud, cream filling in the center. Almost sounds like me. All surrounded by a layer of marshmallow and on top, I love snowballs. Lots of tender shredded coconut. No wonder everybody loves Hostess snowballs. Two for 10 cents, fresh wrapped in cellophane. Stock your refrigerators with these today. So I guess they were recommending refrigeration. Yeah, because there were snowballs. That tracks. Snowballs are nasty. You don't like them. I like them. Occasionally, I'll get a snowball because I want them. Sometimes they made them like green, stuff like that. 1986 for like St. Patrick's Day. King Kong the Ride opened as part of the studio tour for Universal Studio Hollywood. Great graphics on the poster. There's your King Kong for you. Hell yeah. They were probably very bad for me, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, I got this just to show Skippy had something out. Um, it'll be interesting to try that, but yeah, I try not to, you know. Marilyn Monroe's birthday was on June 1st. She was born in 1926. Moulin Rouge opened up in U.S. theaters. I think I saw that once, 24 years ago in 2001. I don't know if it was that iteration. The Doors released their song Riders on the Storm. Boom, 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 54 years ago, 1971. Here's a neat one TV guide with Hill Street Blues. I believe that's probably Jim, what's his name, that does Mad Magazine. Jim Davis artwork. I'll get it eventually. Love Hill Street Blues. Eddie Money released Two Tickets to Paradise, 1978. Total Recall, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, premiered in theaters 35 years ago. I went to see that at the theater, Total Recall. I remember that. 1983, Nintendo released the arcade game Mario Brothers. I went to my bank and the teller had went down to Florida. I said, "Well, you got a good tan." Yeah, this is Shadowhawk and me at the beach. Bert and Ernie. Bert and Ernie. Ernie's got his little snow cone. Bert and Ernie. Keebler Rainbow Chips Deluxe cookies from 1989. Yeah. Milton Bradley travel games. Yeah, I still see those travel games out there. Uh, Ford Pinto wagon. Debut Survivor premiered 25 years ago in 2000 on CBS. Uh, Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler was released in the U.S. 42 years ago, 1983. He had that 80s hair. The animated series Clerks premiered 25 years ago on ABC. I never saw that. Rihanna released her third album, Good Girl Gone Bad, 18 years ago, 2007. I love these old TV guides, especially the drawn ones, cartoons. Loretta Swit uh, passed away. That was on MASH. Did you hear that? I heard that on the radio the other day, probably Friday night, because I did hear it on the radio. Freddie Fender. Wow. Freddie Fender. Who was the detective that barked like a dog on Hill Street Blues? Ford Pinto was the first rack and pinion steering car built in America. I always wanted a station wagon, for us kids to travel in. We never got one. Um, May 31st, 1889, over 2,200 people were killed after the South Fork Dam collapsed, sending a 35-foot wall of water over the town of Jonestown, Pennsylvania. It's bad when the dam breaks. In 1921, mobs of white residents in Tulsa, Oklahoma attacked the city's black Greenwood district, destroying more than 35 square blocks, killing an estimated 300 people and leaving nearly 10,000 people homeless. Yeah, that was some anarchy going on. May 31st, 2005, 91-year-old Mark Felt was revealed to be the anonymous source known as Deep Throat, who provided critical information about the Watergate scandal to Washington Post reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. Here's his picture. Never seen a picture of Deep Throat. He was the guy that would chew his cigarette, his cigar. I forget his name. They might have called him Animal. I can't remember. He wore the stocking hat, yeah, and had a beard, yeah. And let's go back to that cover because he's on that cover prominently. He was always going undercover. May 31st, 1958, brothers Dan and Frank Carney opened the first Pizza Hut in Wichita, Kansas. I hear a lot about Wichita, Kansas in Gunsmoke, because they're in Kansas. Wichita at that time that was the first Pizza Hut right there. I could see the air conditioner hanging out the window. Wow. Got a little chimney. Wow. Pizza Hut. First Pizza Hut. Guess I could have showed you their ad there. That was on a separate screen. There we go. The Pizza Hut. Everyone enjoys the flavorful goodness of pizza from the Pizza Hut. A delicious secret recipe sauce is baked into each golden brown pizza, adding to its tantalizing flavor. Here are the 10 different pizza toppings available at Pizza Hut. So the original Pizza Hut toppings were mozzarella cheese, green pepper, sausage, mushroom, pepperoni, pizza supreme, onion, anchovy, 1/2 cheese, 1/2 sausage, and a hamburger. How is Pizza Supreme a topping? I guess we all know what Pizza Supreme is. But they call that a topping. That's more like a type of pizza, right? Got a lot of toppings on there. Keep it simple, stupid. Here's that cover again. He's right down there by the barcode, by the sniper guy. Was always unkept, unshaven, and he wore those little leather gloves with no knuckles in them. He always looked like a homeless bum. He was undercover, drinking, smoking the cigar. Had the hat on, yeah, the cap, yeah, disheveled, disheveled looking character, like I do, like I look every day on here. Little Caesars logo, yeah, yeah. I've got the first two seasons of Hill Street Blues, and hey, be careful out there. Um, I need to get the additional seasons. I enjoyed Hill Street Blues. Good show. On May 31st, 2009, Milvina Dean, the last Titanic survivor, died at the age of 97 at uh, 8 weeks old. She survived the sinking in 1912. So she was a baby, only 8 weeks old on the Titanic, uh, with her mother and brother, but lost her father. Dean was the youngest passenger aboard the ill fated voyage. Wow, she had a long life indeed, 97 years old. And while the survivors were there, they did conventions and meetings and stuff of survivors there while there was survivors there. She is with her mother. Seen through one of the recovered portholes. She could have probably went on a book tour or gotten rich from that. Even though she didn't experience it. You know, Sums of All Fear, Ben Affleck, Morgan Freeman was released 23 years ago in 2002, the movie. Peppy Pig premiered 21 years ago in 2004. Bruce Springsteen released his song Glory Days 40 years ago, 1985. Nestle Alpine White Chocolate with Almonds released 1985. Clint Eastwood, he turned 95, May 31st. So Clint Eastwood is 95 now. Fletch, starring Chevy Chase, premiered 40 years ago in 1985. 1977, Star Wars year, Cookie Crisp cereal was in there introduced. Have you ever eaten Cookie Crisp? I'm not sure. I know the commercials, but I don't know that I've ever tried Cookie Crisp. Maybe, but I didn't certainly go out and buy it. Yeah, milk that Titanic nonsense all our life. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Ninja Turtle, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ice cream in 1986. I don't know that I've had any Ninja Turtle ice cream on a stick, but yeah, it's been a thing. Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, and Don't Come Back premiered in theaters 45 years ago, 1980. I've never seen Bon Voyage, I don't think. Um, Here's another one. Uh, Crunch Taters Potato Chips, 1989. Don't know that I've had Crunch Taters. It's all bad for you anyway. Mm, May 30th, 2005, 18-year-old Natalie Ann Holloway vanished near end of her high school graduation trip uh, to Urbana in the Caribbean. Substantial national and international news coverage was devoted to Holloway's mysterious disappearance. I'm not sure if they ever found her. You know, Hell's Kitchen premiered. Gordon Ramsay premiered 20 years ago on Fox. All those cooking shows. Loretta Swift, like I said, she passed away. Played Hot Loops Houlihan on MASH. She was 87. She died May 30th. In 1993, Burger King introduced dinner baskets along with table service. Each basket included fries or baked potato and coleslaw or side salad. Don't think I ever tried that. On May 30th, 1982, Cal Ripken Jr. began the longest streak of consecutive games played by anyone in Major League Baseball history, 2,632. Cal Ripken, the Iron Man. 9-inch nails released Closer or Closer to God, as it's sometimes called, 31 years ago, 1994. Finding Nemo premiered in theaters 22 years ago, in 2003. Has it been that long? Wow. 1997, Galoob Toy Company introduced Micro Machines, miniature cars, and playsets. 1989. I remember when those came out and everything. It's a little old for those. I love these fun dip things. I ate a ton of these things. I showed this the other day. I ate a ton of these things. Uh, you eat a lot of them and make your tongue raw. Just the acidity of it, you know. 1998, Coca Cola launched a loyalty card program which offered deals on items like clothes, entertainment, and food within the cardholder purchased a Coca Cola Classic. The program was eliminated after 3 years. Survivor, Eye of the Tiger, the theme for Rocky 3, came out in 1982, 43 years ago. I remember that. Great song. Sister Act, starring Whoopi Goldberg. I saw that too at the theater 33 years ago, 1992. The Cars released their song Just What I Needed. That's just what I needed. 47 years ago, 1978. Alfred Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder, starring Ray Milland, Grace Kelly, and Robert Cummings, opened in theaters 71 years ago in 1954. Dial M for Murder. In 1985, Taco Bell first introduced its Mexican pizza. Have you ever had a Mexican pizza? I haven't. I don't like what's on olives and other stuff. Olives are good for you, but I don't like them. I guess I'd eat anything if I was starving. Tina Turner released her fifth studio album, Private Dancer, 41 years ago, 1984. Here's another one, S'mores Crunch. You ever had s'mores? Never missed a game. Consecutive games. Baltimore and stayed with Baltimore the whole time. He never got traded. I mean, that is almost unheard of. Series finale of Tiny Toon Adventures 30 years ago on Fox. Rocky 3 premiered in theaters 43 years ago, 1992. Had some birthdays. I can find them here. Just a little shout out birthdays. Some of them are heavenly birthdays. Uh, Ben Soto says Cephas #1 coming soon. Art by Mario Williams. Colors by me. Vampires versus werewolves. You probably should say what platform that's going to be released on. Oops, skipped over one. Looks like a cool project. Werewolves and vampires versus vampires. Who wins? I think they had a whole series on that in the movies. It's been done. There's some werewolves in Dionysus Tome of Reckoning as well. Can't wait to get it because I'm going to get issue 1, 2, and 3. And then that way I can just binge read it. Aaron LaPresta says we are creeping up to 80K stretch goal. Help make it happen and get more free stuff. Wraith the God 3, Fear Hollow, right here. Go check out Wraith the God. This is Hans Zimmer and his Moog modular synthesizer in 1970. Wow. Check out that synthesizer. Looks like a whole computer bank. I'm your private dancer. Dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. Yeah. Tina Turner was born outside of Memphis. They have a Tina Turner museum there. I've not been. They've got some wineries around there as well. So if you're just like Batman and Robin and just hanging around, you might want to go check out the Tina Turner Museum. Hanging around there. 1987, yeah, a year that they got married. There's Stan Lee in the background. Spider-Man and Mary Jane made a big thing out of it. I don't know that it was really that big. Here's a throwback for you from 1977, Star Wars year, Viewmaster from the Croft Super Show, Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. That'd be a good one to get because that's so obscure. That is so obscure. It would be cool just to have the Viewmaster. I have to look that up on eBay and tell you what one of those things are running. It was called the Moog. Did I say it wrong? Moog. Just in Mount Etna in Italy suddenly erupted. So Mount Etna has erupted in Italy. So we can expect some ash in our atmosphere. Active volcano in Italy. And the wheels of my computer keep burning. Don't know where it'll wind up tomorrow. Probably be like Shadowhawk, kicked off. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. It is Monday. We'll make it through somehow. Just let me get these birthdays out of the way. There's some interesting birthdays that happened recently. Here's that Godzilla piece. Awesome Godzilla art. He's a Japanese artist. I'm not even going to say his name. Mr. Goji posted this. Got the train in his mouth. Very cool. Hope you're looking, Shadowhawk. That's a good one. I'd love to have a poster of that or something. That'd make a great lenticular cover for a comic book. Godzilla, up from the depths, 40 stories high. Godzilla, and Godzuki. Yeah, you got to throw Godzuki in there, unfortunately. Galaxy Memorial Park. Go check it out on Fun My Comic. Be sure to sign up for our free newsletter for free Galaxy Memorial Park flash fiction stories. Link is also in the comments, says JD. Uh, the Keith Gleason will be lettering that book. I backed it, first day backer. Uh, Dan Lawless says, I repurposed my Isom fan art into a Black Panther image, which works much better now. Oh, what could have been if Eric didn't try to undermine the crowdfunding community and instead support us, he says. And here's his Isom piece repurposed into Black Panther. It's cool, especially if it's a sentinel back there or something. It's very neat. Colorful. Because you demanded it, Bigfoot blasting a heater, Sasquatch, by Aaron Lopresti. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, she knew her stuff when it come to mixing, early mixing stuff. 1974 was a great year for the electric company. Yeah, it's Amazing Spider-Man. Hell yeah. That might be Jane. That may be, I don't know who that character is, but it may be J. Jonah Jameson. Might be. He's playing that character. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've watched Electric Company. Morgan Freeman there. I mean, early Morgan Freeman before he really became famous. He was on the Electric Company. Perfect 10 and America Bliss by Clayton Barton and Federico. There we go. Genuine Dave was in the chat earlier. Actress Madge Blake, born in 1899. Wow, the year Devil Flyer is born, supposedly. After leaving a top secret government job working on the atom bomb, believe it or not, at age 50, went on to acting. Remembered as Aunt Harriet in TV's Batman series, 1966 through 68, passed in 1969 after the show closed, age 69 from heart attack. So right after her most famous role, she worked on the atom bomb program. How wild is that? You just never know. Aunt Harriet. Maybe it was Frank Groeschen's The Riddler that sent her over the edge. Could have been Catwoman. Barbara Pepper. I remember her, but later in life when she got obese and stuff, her later roles. Born in 1950, a glamour girl in the 50s in films in the 30s and 40s, and as a friend of Lucille Ball. She later was often on TV in comic roles from the 50s to 60s, battling obesity and alcoholism. She passed in 1969 at age 54. Quite the stunning blonde back in the day, but here's how I remember. Ah! Yes. There she is with Zsa Zsa. Now that's a Bride of Frankenstein. Just saying. Brooke Shields' birthday was May 31st. She's turned 60. Born in 1965, the year I was a child teen of young adult model. She later gained critical acclaim for her film and TV roles. In 2005, Brooke spoke openly on her battles with postpartum depression to educate and support others in need. Clint Eastwood, like I said earlier, born in 1930. He was a year older than my father. A Fistful of Dollars, 1964. Uh, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, 1966. The Beguiled, that's a good one. Go see The Beguiled. That's where he's Confederate. I think no, he's a Union officer or person in a Confederate hiding out in a Confederate home because he's wounded, and they and he's surrounded by women, and they all kind of smang on him, and they wind up poisoning, making him mushrooms, but they made him with poison mushrooms, and before he found out, poisoned him. They killed him, buried him. Play Misty for Me and Dirty Harry, 1971. Every Which Way But Loose, 1978. And of course, Unforgiven, 1992. 95 years young, Clint Eastwood. Frank Morgan, born in 1890, a working film actor throughout the 30s and 40s. He is remembered today for his roles in The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Battling alcoholism, he passed in 1949 at age 59. High Plains Drifter, yeah, yeah, that's a good one. Also had second film role, yeah, as the gatekeeper in Oz there. Played a dual role. People forget that. Actor Robert Newton, born June 1st, 1905. Film and stage roles in England and the U.S. Remembered for his pirate roles in Treasure Island, 1950, and Blackbeard the Pirate, 1952. Battling alcoholism, he passed in 56 at age 50. Matey, I'll make you walk the plank. Indeed. Disney movies. Nice to be remembered for something. Like I said, actress Marilyn Monroe, she was born June 1st, 1926, remembered for numerous roles. Major film star battling depression. She passed in 1962 at age 36. Was she murdered? Yeah, I think so. Life cut short. When I think of Marilyn Monroe, it's a cautionary tale that, you can't help but just living pathos, for her. John Peters, born June 2nd, 1945. Past relationship was actresses Leslie Ann Warren, Barbara Streisand, and wed to Pamela Anderson for 12 days. Considered to be the inspiration for Warren Beatty in the film Shampoo, 1975. He turned 79 years old. Now 79 years old. How'd you like to be married to Pamela Sue Anderson for 12 days? 12 days, hey. Oh, hopefully it wasn't all arguments. Yeah, as I said later, Jerry Mathers as the Beaver. June 2nd, known for his role as Beaver TV series Leave It to Beaver that ran from 1957 to 1963. One of the ones that runs and reruns all the time. Uh, and he was also in the new Leave It to Beaver in 1983 to 89. That had a good little role. Continues to promote the Leave It to Beaver TV series for MeTV. 76 years old now. I think I reported the other day that his mother lived to be like 97 years old herself. Gee, Wally. Oh, Eddie. Olympic swimmer and film star Johnny Weissmuller, born June 2nd, 1904. He set world records alongside winning 5 gold medals in the Olympics. Remembered today for his film role as Tarzan in 12 feature films from 1932 to 48. Passed in 1984, the year I graduated high school, age 79. Johnny Weissmuller. Marvel drops some history. You know, June 1st, 1983. I remember when this dropped. I bought it. Star Wars completes the original trilogy for the with Return of the Jedi adaptation. I bought the graphic novels or the magazines that they came out with. I remember buying that. I don't have a copy of it in my collection today, I don't think, but I did back then. Anyway, where are we at? Wow, we ran past 2 hours easily when you try and play catch up. And you know, I guess I'll go eat my Skippy salted nut roll. It's all protein. Shadowhawk endorsed, approved. Anyway, keep collecting. Bow for now, and we'll see you tomorrow on the 4 o'clock shot. If not sooner. I do work tonight, spray tonight. Maybe I'll do a stream when I get back. Staying in Jonesboro here. Only straying for about, be lucky if I get like 4 hours, maybe 4 hours in tonight. But, you know, I haven't seen that much mosquitoes around, and it's been kind of cooler at nights. I think that's starting to trend upward. We're hitting, you know, upper 80s now, and I think somewhere around 67 is going to be the low tonight, or was last night. So even the lows are starting to come up. You know, flowers are starting to take off. I've been watering them. Hopefully we'll have a tick and flea and mosquito barrier naturally and beautify the place here pretty soon. Anyway, going to get out of here. Yeah, I got to go to work in just a few minutes. I better get my act together. Bow for now.